Welcome to News Beacon, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Volkswagen, a staple of American roads, has long been a symbol of reliability and innovation. From the iconic Beetle to the versatile Golf, these cars have been a part of the American landscape for decades. But recently, Volkswagen shocked the world by halting all vehicle exports to the US, a move that sent ripples through the automotive industry and beyond. This abrupt decision left ships loaded with Volkswagens and Audis stranded at sea, unable to dock and deliver their cargo. These ships, filled with thousands of cars, were left in a state of limbo, unable to reach American shores and fulfill their intended purpose. The move sent shockwaves through financial markets and dealership networks, affecting countless livelihoods. Stock prices plummeted, and dealerships were left scrambling to understand the full impact. Cars in transit were caught in limbo, held at U.S. ports, unable to reach dealers. These vehicles, once destined for American driveways, now sat idle, waiting for a resolution. Volkswagen's message was clear: selling imported cars in America had become unsustainable. The reasons behind this drastic decision were multifaceted, involving economic, regulatory, and logistical challenges. This wasn't just a business decision, it was a reflection of deeper issues within the global automotive market. Executives were faced with tough choices, balancing profitability with sustainability. It was a seismic shift in American commerce, one that would have lasting repercussions for years to come. The landscape of the auto industry was changing, and everyone had to adapt. The iconic brand, woven into American culture, suddenly halted its operations, leaving a void in the market. For many, Volkswagen was more than just a car, it was a part of their identity. Dealers were left in confusion, scrambling for information and trying to reassure their customers. Their business models were upended, and they faced an uncertain future. Customers with pending orders were left in the dark, unsure if they would ever receive their vehicles. Frustration and disappointment were palpable as they sought answers. The silence from assembly lines was deafening, a stark contrast to the usual hum of production. Factories that once buzzed with activity were now eerily quiet. This marked a new chapter for Volkswagen and the US auto market, one filled with uncertainty and challenges. The future of the industry was now in question. The trust between the German automaker and American consumers was shattered. Years of brand loyalty and customer satisfaction were now at risk. The auto industry was shaken to its core, with ripple effects felt across the globe. Workers, suppliers, and consumers all faced an uncertain future. Everyone was left to wonder what went wrong. Analysts and experts scrambled to make sense of the situation, but answers were hard to come by. The immediate aftermath was confusion and disbelief. News outlets covered the story extensively, but clarity remained elusive. Executives at other automakers watched closely, knowing they could be next. The industry was on high alert, bracing for potential fallout. The decision marked a new, uncertain chapter for the auto industry. Companies had to rethink their strategies and prepare for a rapidly changing market. The industry had been shaken to its core, and the road ahead was unclear. Adaptation and resilience would be key to navigating this new landscape. The industry had been shaken to its core, leaving everyone to wonder what the future holds for the world of automobiles. The crisis stemmed from a Trump administration policy imposing a 25% tariff on imported cars. This aimed to boost American manufacturing but hit automakers like Volkswagen hard. The tariff added over $7,250 to a VW Tiguan's cost, making it unviable. Automakers faced a choice: absorb costs or pass them to consumers, both unsustainable. The tariff erased profit margins, forcing Volkswagen to halt shipments. The promised system to deduct U.S. content from tariffs was not yet in place, creating uncertainty. Automakers couldn't plan for the future, leaving them in paralysis. The tariff disrupted a global manufacturing ecosystem, dismantling the North American auto industry. The policy failed to account for modern supply chains with severe consequences. The recent export halt has sent shockwaves through the American auto market, as some of the most popular Volkswagen and Audi models are set to disappear from U.S. showrooms. For years, these vehicles have been staples for families, commuters, and car enthusiasts alike, but now, their absence will be felt across the country. The Jetta, Taos, and Tiguan, long-standing pillars of Volkswagen's American sales, are suddenly gone, leaving a noticeable gap in dealership lots and in the hearts of loyal customers. The Jetta, an affordable and reliable sedan, was cherished for its blend of practicality, fuel efficiency, and German engineering. For many, it was the perfect entry point into the Volkswagen brand, offering a taste of European driving at an accessible price. The Taos and Tiguan, both compact SUVs, were key players in a fiercely competitive segment. Their versatility, modern features, and approachable pricing made them favorites among young families and urban drivers seeking a balance of style and practicality. Audi's Q5 and Q5 Sportback, both assembled in Mexico, are also caught in the crossfire. These models have been bestsellers for Audi, offering luxury, performance, and advanced technology in a sleek package. With Audi halting all exports to the US, its presence in the luxury market is shrinking, leaving fewer premium options for American buyers and impacting dealerships nationwide. For American consumers, this means a sudden and dramatic reduction in choice. Dealerships that once bustled with activity now face empty lots and frustrated shoppers. Those who had their hearts set on a new Jetta or Audi Q5 will now have to look elsewhere, often settling for alternatives that may not match their preferences or budgets. The market for sedans and hatchbacks, already shrinking in recent years, now loses some of its most compelling and affordable options, making it even harder for buyers to find the right fit. The cars that once defined entire segments are now gone, leading to a less competitive market and fewer choices for everyone. As a result, consumers are left facing not only fewer choices but also higher prices, as the remaining models become more sought after and competition dwindles. The true cost of this crisis is measured not just in dollars, but in the lives and livelihoods of American workers. As factory gates close and assembly lines grind to a halt, thousands of families are left facing an uncertain future. The impact ripples far beyond the factory floor, touching every corner of the communities that depend on these jobs. At U.S. ports, employees who once processed a steady stream of imported vehicles now face shrinking workloads and the looming threat of layoffs. The bustling activity that once defined these docks has slowed, leaving workers anxious about what tomorrow will bring. Car dealerships, which rely heavily on new vehicle sales, are now struggling to survive. With fewer cars arriving and customers holding back, many showrooms sit empty, their future hanging in the balance. Sales staff, service technicians, and administrative employees are being let go in waves. For many, these jobs were more than just a paycheck. They were a source of pride and stability. The pain doesn't stop at the dealership doors. Local economies, especially in small towns, are feeling the strain as reduced foot traffic and lost income ripple through other businesses. The ripple effect is vast, reaching other automakers and their workforces. No brand is immune as the entire industry faces mounting pressure. Stellantis, one of the world's largest automakers, has paused production, resulting in significant layoffs across its U.S. operations. Workers who once built cars now wait outside closed gates, uncertain if they'll ever return. American workers tied to cross-border supply chains are also caught in the fallout. When shipments stall at the border, entire factories can grind to a halt, leaving employees on both sides without work. Volkswagen's $14 billion investment in U.S. manufacturing is now at risk, threatening not only current jobs but also future opportunities for growth and innovation. Tariffs, intended to protect American jobs, are instead fueling layoffs and uncertainty. The very policies meant to safeguard workers are now putting their livelihoods in jeopardy. Industry experts warn that these job losses could be just the beginning. Reduced vehicle production and shrinking payrolls may have long-term consequences for the entire sector. For workers and their families, the economic hardship is real and immediate. Many are left wondering how they'll pay their bills or put food on the table, caught in the crossfire of a trade war they never asked for. This disruption isn't limited to Volkswagen or a single company. It's a crisis that spans the entire auto industry, threatening jobs and communities nationwide. In a painful twist, the tariffs designed to protect American workers are now closing the doors on the very jobs they were meant to save. For American consumers, the consequences are stark. Higher prices for fewer choices. The removal of popular vehicles creates scarcity, driving up prices. Competing automakers have leverage to raise prices on comparable models. The Volkswagen Jetta's disappearance is a blow to affordable sedans. Consumers face limited options, forcing them to buy used or stretch budgets. The reduction in competition affects innovation and quality. automakers may feel less urgency to innovate without major competitors. The US market becomes more homogeneous, with fewer exciting options. Volkswagen's drastic move is part of a broader industry crisis. The 25% tariff affects all foreign automakers, creating a domino effect. Audi halted exports, and Infiniti stopped exporting popular models. Stellantis laid off US staff and paused production due to supply chain chaos. Even automakers with US plants face challenges like Mercedes-Benz. The uncertainty leads to suspended financial forecasts and investor concerns. The modern auto industry, a global logistics miracle, is in chaos. The 25% tariff shattered the North American auto industry's integrated system. The tariff treats cars assembled in Mexico like those from Asia, disrupting supply chains. The disruption affects US companies supplying parts to Mexican plants. American jobs at supplier factories are at risk. The tariffs harm the businesses they aim to protect. Reconfiguring global manufacturing is costly and time-consuming. Some companies may decide it's not worth the effort reducing vehicle variety. The system that delivered choice and affordability is broken. Automakers face tough choices in a hostile trade environment. Volkswagen chose to flee, halting exports to avoid tariffs. Others may adapt by shifting production to US plants, a slow and costly process. Some may pass costs to consumers, raising prices on luxury models. The environment may deter new brands from entering the US market. Automakers must gamble on moving production or losing market share. The decisions will shape the future of the American auto market. The road ahead for the American auto industry is uncertain. Car prices are set to rise with fewer affordable vehicles available. The competitive pressure that kept costs in check is weakened. American families may pay more for new or used cars. Automotive jobs hang in the balance with layoffs at ports and dealerships. The hope of future factory openings doesn't help workers losing jobs now. The diversity of the US car market is under threat. The market may become dominated by SUVs and trucks with fewer choices. The future depends on how long tariffs remain and automakers' responses. The road ahead is unpaved, and for consumers it's a more expensive ride.